The other day, I was having a discussion with a friend of mine who has opposing political views than myself. And if you know me, I like to have friends that are different in thought processes and opinions. And seldomly during our conversations, race and black community issues come up. And we started to talk about why black people have a hard time getting it together. So I decided to ask him that particular question. Brother, what do you think? Or why is it? Or what do you suppose is the reason that African Americans are having a tough time getting it together? He looked at me and he said, man, where you been? Are you dumb? I said, what do you mean? He said, man, it's obvious what the reason is as to why African Americans are where they are. I said, well, what is that? Because the white man has his foot on our neck. And he is holding us back. I said, oh, so please tell me more. I mean, what do you really mean when you say that? He said, I'm glad you asked that question. He said, Oshay, you went to Brazil, haven't you? I said, I sure did. He said, what did you see over there? I said, I saw blacks. He said, did you see many of them poor? I said, I did. He said, now, when you go to America, what do you see? Do you see blacks? I said, I do. Do you see many of them poor? I say, I see many of them poor in comparison to white as a percentage. He goes, very well. This proves that white people systemically have oppressed Africans. Now, Oshay, you've been to Uganda? I said, I have. He said, you've been to Kenya? I said, I have. You've been to Tanzania? I said, I have. He said, are they poor? I said, yes. You see, this white man got his foot on our neck everywhere we go, brother. You cannot escape him. He's everywhere. And the only person who can get his foot off of our neck is him. Now, he makes some strong points, don't he? I mean, if you listen to what he's saying, hard to disagree with him. But I wanted to know more information on his talking points. I said, tell me other things that black people are not successful. It always came back to the system of white supremacy. It always comes back to systemized racism. It always comes to keeping blacks out of the marketplace. But one thing I noticed as I brought this up, I said, what about self-accountability of these blacks? Do they play any role in their failure? He goes, absolutely not. I said, so you mean that they have no control over their lives? He says, no. I said, then would you get mad if a white person calls you or any other black person a monkey? Brother, I'll be ready to fight. I said, what about a dog? Oh, I'll be ready to kill somebody. I said, what about a horse, an animal? He goes, man, that is racist. I said, because if a white person calls you an animal, and if you are a person that cannot change your situation, that is on the same level as being animalistic. So you cannot tell me that you are a human being and you cannot change your outcome, or you have no effect in your outcomes. And do you know what? He paused for just a second, because he realized that his arguments, although very well thought out, very well positioned, he forgot to add that black people can push the boot off of their neck, or at least die trying. See, and this is the conversation that we're going to have today. Because, see, the white man and the man is this, and he's holding me back, and He won't let me do this or that. That is what is called giving power to an unknown beast. It's almost like the Wizard of Oz. The guy who is, you think is the wizard, and you go back behind the scene and Toto pulls the strings out. It's somebody behind there. It's very similar, because I want to know that if the white man is this or that, what can you do to change your situation? And see, here's the hard pill to swallow, black man. You are responsible for how your life turns out. Because, see, while you may suffer as a group systemically, while you may become poor as a group systemically in comparison to others, while you may have to overcome other obstacles that people do not have to overcome in your situation, the fact is you have self-agency. And nobody, for the record, is outside of your house with binoculars making sure that you fall. And especially if they're white. And then we have a group of people who have been spooked out so much, they actually feel that white people are actually watching them all the time, and white people are pulling strings so that their life is in shambles. And typically, these are people who are low performers and have no standards for their own life, or have no standards or goals, or don't want to put in the work in their life. And this is why black people must stop thinking that the white man got his foot on your neck. Even if that is true, even if that is factual, what good would you be to yourself or to your community or to your family if you can't do anything? Imagine you are a grown man, you have a wife, you have kids, and you can't take your child to a birthday dinner or cake or Disneyland or buy Christmas gifts. And would you tell your daughter the white man got his foot on my neck? Baby, I can't pay the rent this month because the white man got his foot on my neck. What would she think of you? What would people think of you? Even the most liberal of Democrats won't even take you serious, because the fact is, for a black man, nobody wants to hear you say the white man got his foot on my neck. Because if you say that as a man, that means that the white man owns you. You are his boy. He rubs your head. You can't look him in the eye. When he walks down the street, nigga, you go across the street. And those are the same sentiments. And this is why black men must get away from those talking points, because it really gives power to a group who, I feel, in today's age, although things are hard for you in comparison to other groups, nobody is really worried about the black race like they used to. I think the damage has been done. Blacks are not a big threat anymore in America. People don't respect you as a voting bloc. They don't respect us as a voting bloc. All right. And now the Latino community is where it's at. So if there's any group in America that needs to be saying the white man got his foot on my neck, it's the Latinos. And you don't hear them talking like that. The Chinese don't talk like that. Now, I know we have a different, unique situation, but the thing about it is, even when you're right, and a lot of folks that have talking points against white supremacy, they are right. But those talking points don't change anything. The fact is, you have to do the work. The fact is, you have to perform. The fact is, you have to build up your black male spaces. You have to build up your black male communities. You have to work with other black men. You have to do that. Not anybody else. You. And you have the opportunity to do that. You have to create opportunities for you and other black men. And you keep mentioning why I'm not talking about the women. I'm talking about the men because You are the future. The black race can only go as long as you want it to go. Without you, there is nothing. Without you, there is no community. Without you, there is nothing. So only you can decide how this thing is going to turn out for future generations. Nobody can decide that but you. And the white man ain't sitting there worried about what you're doing. The Asian man ain't sitting there worried about what you're doing. And this is the best time, in my opinion, because don't nobody think you can do anything. One or two of y'all individually, but as a group, they don't even think it's possible. And to sit there and be defeated before it even starts because some white man is oppressing you. When the capitalistic system in the United States is open to anybody that wants to perform in it, whether you entrepreneurial, whether you professional, whether you want to develop something, if you think about it, America is the best place to kick your stuff off the ground so you can have some self-ownership of things. And this is where the brothers got to start to believe that, hey, I don't have a boot on my neck. I'm not limited to what people say I can do. The only boot that's on my neck is the one that I put on there. When I go to black communities and I see people performing in the way that they do, we can say that white people have put them in situations where they act and behave like that or whatever. That could be true. But who do I see doing it? Black people. Who do I see hating on other people? Black folks. We could talk about the mental diseases and the mental and all of that. We could debate that all day. But who do I see doing that and making a conscious effort to do it? Other black folks. And see, black people have a choice in their behavior. You have a choice in that situations. There are black people who come out of ghettos or out of things and don't behave like that. Why? They have control over their own minds. They are not animals. And then the only hindrances that you have is the own boot. And I'm tired of a lot of Negro excuses. Every time you can't do something that's blah, 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 that's unaccountable, it's boo, 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 well, I did, and boo, 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 boo. I hate to hear people talk like that. If you fucked up, I did that. It won't happen again. I made a mistake. But you don't hear that from us. It's always an excuse. And let me tell you, when I say this, black people are tired of nigga excuses. Non-black people are tired of black excuses. Even if you're right, people are tired of hearing it. People want folks who can get the job done. And black America and America at large are looking for people who can get the job done. We can get the goddamn job done. And the first order of business is to say, I don't have a boot on my damn neck. And when we can start there, we can do other things. But this whole, the man did this, he's holding me back. All I gotta say is nigga, please. That's all I can really say. So I want to drop this video on this subject. I want to thank everybody for your support. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell. Subscribe here. Share the video. I'll be doing a video, I think, a little bit later on tonight with a brother. Let me get his information here. I believe his name is Matthew Tran, engineertroop.com. I'll be doing an interview with him later on today. So shout out to him. He listened to my last video. I'll be working with him. Well, anyways, brothers, remember what I'm saying. No one can stop you from whatever you want to do. Okay, this ain't 1955 or 45 or 1810 or nothing like. You can do what you want to do. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.